like a free-for-all here. The water should be up down here, so you need to secure it if you want to.
What's going on, everybody? I just wanted to do a quick overview of this Hinderer Xm18 fatty. So I've been carrying this off and on for about, I'd say about a month now. My thoughts are, I guess it's kind of hard for me to explain. It fits my hand great, but at the same time, it also tells me where to put my fingers, and that's not particularly something I care for. It's kind of like a double-edged sword. I love the blade. I love the Warney. It's almost like a sax design. I really dig it. But as far as the grip, it's very comfortable, very confidence-inspiring. It definitely suits the size of the blade as far as, where the finger placement is and how easily you can just, choke up on that sucker. It's got an enlarged choil for your index finger to roll up on, and so you can get your thumb far out on the tip of that blade and shave something if you need to. And then also in this grip, it feels very comfortable as well. There's no thoughts or feelings, as far as I'm concerned, that my hand could possibly slide up on the blade. I just don't see that happening. The blade thickness I love. Still reviewing this bad boy, the SNG Fatty. I love thick blades. This one's very comparable in size. So it's really not a bad knife. I don't really have very many negative things to say about it, but there are a couple pet peeves that I have, and I guess that could be construed as negative, but really what these are my personal preferences more than anything. Oh yeah, and then as far as the I guess a fighter grip, it feels really good in this direction. That's my puppy scratching around in the kennel. So actually there is a negative now that I'm thinking about it. Let me get my train of thought together. One of the negatives about this blade is the steel and or the heat treatment. This particular one is an S35VN. If you don't know what S35VN is, it's a steel that was a collaboration between Chris Reeve and Crucible Metallurgy, Crucible Steel. And it was supposed to be the, end-all, be-all of knife steels. I've had really good experience with S35 in the past, but with this knife, what I've noticed is it chips very easy. And I don't necessarily blame that on the steel itself. I blame that on the heat treat. I think maybe this one got a little cooked. And really what I'm waiting for is after about 3 or 4 sharpening sessions, I use it, it gets dull, I sharpen it. I use it, it chips out a little bit, I sharpen it, I use it. And then, so on and so forth. I've only sharpened it twice so far, and I haven't got to use it since I've sharpened it last. So I don't know if sharpening out that burnt edge, that really fragile, brittle edge, I don't know if sharpening it out is going to work. I hope it is, because I'm a fan of S35. And I do like this knife. It makes a great work knife. You can see there's already some wear on it. I got a little bit of, I think it's brass from my pants. I got some shredded up pants and a little metal bolster that holds it. I don't know what you call it. I'm not sure what you call it. It has worn off on the titanium, which isn't a big deal. And then I screwed up and didn't follow their direction as far as what Hinderer knives suggests. I Loctited these. And when I went to take it back apart, it just spun. So I took some super glue and I super glued the ends that don't have a driver, and that's how I backed it back out. But then I went to get the super glue back off, and it didn't necessarily want to come off. So there's that. Yeah, bonehead thing to do. So far, it's been a pretty good knife. I don't carry it every day. I carry 3 knives. I carry this one. This is my fixed blade, and this is more of a defense knife. This is the Browse Blades MFCEO design. It was a partnership between James Yeager and Jason Browse. They were they wanted to come together on a knife that was very similar to the give me a second, I can't think of what it is, the K-Bar TDI knife. But they also wanted a little bit higher quality and a couple little changes to you know, the geometry of the knife and the way it cut and the shape of the blade. And I carry this one every day. This one's on my belt. It goes with me everywhere. Then I carry my everyday cutting task / work knife. Here lately, it's been the SNG. So there's that. And then I carry a secondary knife. And the secondary pocket knife is specifically for, in case something happens to my other cutter, I like to have another blade on hand. Also, if I dull one out, which has happened before, I will dull a knife in half a day or so of work, and I need a second blade. And that's why I carry 2 work knives, 2 everyday task knives. So I EDC this one about 3 to 4 times a week, and so far, so good. I solely carried this for the first couple weeks, you know, kind of going through the honeymoon phase of the knife, and it took a back seat as soon as this one came in. When this one came in, I was like, And so far, I like the Strider better. I mean, believe it or not, you would think that the one on the left would be the choice because of how ergonomic it is, but and I'm not complaining about the blade shape because I love the blade shape, but this one is it does the task overall far better than the Hinderer does. Another thing, I guess it's one of those things. It's another dislike. It's not an issue with the knife itself. One of the things is kind of one of my pet peeves is there's a following behind this knife, and I just don't really meet eye to eye with a lot of the Hinderer guys. I like clubs. I'm in the Strider Club. I'm in the Emerson Club. I'm in the Browse Blades Club. I'm in the Microtech Club. This is one of those oddball clubs that I just really, on Facebook and on the forums, I just don't really jive with those guys. I was told carrying 2 guns on you at all times is overkill, quote unquote overkill. And why would you need to shoot that much? Well, I don't carry 2 guns so I can shoot. I carry a secondary gun just in case the other one goes down for whatever reason. It's quicker to draw a second gun than it is to try to fix what you got. And they just couldn't get that, you know, they couldn't grasp that. And this is a knife community. You know, we should all get along. We should all do our part, and we should all be respectful. And I felt like there was some disrespect going on there. And another thing, you know, and that's a personal thing. Like I said, that has nothing to do with this knife. It has nothing to do with the maker, the company, the brand as a whole. That's just my preference. And another thing is these are heavily modified. You can heavily modify these. And the only modification I've wanted to do so far is replace this with a working finished titanium scale. Well, they're $200. And I'm all about quality, but $200 for a scale by itself, if it's not made out of stellulite or something crazy like zinchromium, I think it's zinchromium, I'm not sure exactly what it's called, but it's got to be a super rare mammoth, ivory, you know, whatever. If it's not made out of something like that, there's no way on earth I'm going to spend $200 on a scale. It's definitely got to be, it's got to be something rare. It's got to be, you know, inlaid, you know, silver or something crazy. Not for a 1/8 inch thick slab of titanium that's been run through a stone washing machine. I believe they're overpriced. I think for what you get, they could be about $100 less. And everybody's got their preferences. Once again, like I said, these are strictly preferences. What do I intend to do with this knife? Am I going to sell it? Am I going to keep it? Is it going to be a collector? No. This is going to be a work knife. I'm going to continue to use it as a work knife. I'm probably going to modify it. I made these oak scales for my, I think it's the Spyderco Gale Bradley 2. So I'm probably going to do something like that with this. I'm gonna make some scales and you know, maybe change it up a little bit. Really, that's about it. I mean, I can't really say a whole lot more on it. Would I suggest somebody buy one? Yeah, sure. you know, I would definitely go handle one first. I mean, at $300 to $500, these things don't come cheap. So, you know, you want to make sure that you're making a solid purchase. Most people don't spend that much on a knife. Typically, knife people buy knives that expensive, or, you know, troops that are deploying, or firefighters, LEO, whatever have you. And even those guys, most of the time, just buy a cheap knife that they can, you know, if they lose it or break it, it's not going to break the bank. It's not going to really hurt so bad. I like it. I like the modularity of all the stuff that you can get for it. That's cool. It kind of reminds me of an AR or a Glock. But would I take this one over a cheaper version of this, like a Lego? No, I would take the Lego. And we'll see how the steel works out. If it doesn't work out, I may very well end up sending it into Hinderer. You know, and there's some cool things. There's some details that they put in here. You can see the little horse. They very clear to put that USA bigger than anything else. I don't really care for the Hinderer etched into the frame, but, you know, there it is. And there's a lot of detail that went into this. A lot of thought goes into stuff like this. So, yeah, I'm proud to buy from an American company. Rick Hinderer seems like a decent dude. So, you know, I'll probably buy more of his shit in the future. But as far as it being my favorite, absolutely not. That's it. Y'all have any questions, just leave them in the comments. If you like my content, please subscribe. And anything else, just PM me or leave it in the comments. Thanks for watching, guys.